Hello, my fellow readers. I am back today with a book review. Finally, I get to talk about some books. And this time I'm going to talk about Marriage of Convenience. This is a manhwa. I think you can read it on Webtoon. I could be wrong. Anyway, this is one that I've recently gotten into. So there's only, I think, the 2 volumes out. Volume 3 could be out now. I could be a little bit off, but I don't own it yet. So at this point, I'm just going to talk about 1 and 2. This is a redo story, I guess is the best I would call it, where our main character gets brought back into life again, and she gets to start over. And in the previous life that she was in, and her name is Bianca, by the way. In her previous life, Bianca was married to Zachary, but there was a lot that interfered between the two. She was seen as like cold, standoffish, selfish, just doing whatever she wanted. She would spend all of his money. There were affairs touted about, whatever, and it ends miserably. It was just awful all the way around. And then she gets put back into her life and gets to start over again about from the time that she gets married to Zachary. And this is another one too where there was like war being fought and so distance between the two. But in this time she gets to try again, and once again her personality is one that's a little bit different, so she gets misunderstood a lot. And that might have caused some issues in the past. We don't really 100% know. We know that she ended up like locked away, like imprisoned, and she learned like all these other crafts. But, you know, was she doing things that were wrong? Was it a reaction to her circumstance? We're not going to dwell on that. We're going to dwell on who she is now. And so who she is now, she is trying her best, 1, to not die, and 2, to make the best out of this marriage and this situation. And so she actually is bringing with her, like a lot of these stories, she's bringing with her the things that she has learned in her other life into this one. And one of those is her lace making. So she starts where she's going to teach other women, well, mostly women, to do the lace making, so that that's a trade, something that they can learn and then sell to other lands in order to make money. She finds a young boy who can carve candles, and she's going to work that into the world. And although she still can sort of demand things in this life, like she ends up with this really fancy fur coat and everything, at the same time, she is trying to curb how her attitude is being seen in this world. So she's trying, 1, to engage more in conversation with other people. She's trying to relate more to Zachary, and they're both kind of like awkward, you know, they don't really know how to communicate properly to one another. So that's a big part of this, is the 2 of them learning to communicate with one another, and her trying to reform her character, although they don't know her real character. Like, she's trying to show people that she's not that bad, so that the really bad future does not come to pass. And so far, it seems to be working. Like, we see her and Zachary getting along. They seem to be doing well, and just getting on. And it's cute. I really like this one. I think I've brought up pretty much everything that's happening so far. It's really just trying to reform her life. And I, as I've said before, really like the start over kind of stories where people get a do-over. They get to try to change their lives and how they're living. My favorite, of course, is probably 7th Time Loop, which is a light novel, but this manhwa series is really good too. I really enjoyed the artwork. Is nice. The characters are just different. I like that they have this whole communication issue. Their communication problems are probably more extreme than like Maxie and Riften from Under the Oak Tree. I think that they struggle a bit more, but I do think they're going to find that point of intimacy and passion for one another that, like, I feel like Riften and Maxie reach a lot sooner in Under the Oak Tree. And so far I'm just really enjoying this. And it is something where, yes, maybe they were kind of not necessarily forced, but kind of forced into their marriage to one another. But I think they're going to find a way to make it work. And so far, I'm really enjoying it. I think it's super sweet. And again, great artwork. I really like the character designs. I don't know if I can show a good one. But there's a lot going on within the greater world. I don't want to spoil anything, so maybe I'll just do a couple of flip throughs. Take a look at the art. Hopefully I don't come upon anything that's too spoilery. And again, you get to see the other characters in the world. Everything becomes much more real. I would say one of the things that Bianca faces is that judgment, and also like people assuming that she's not good enough for Zachary, and therefore they don't respect her or her relationship with him, and so they'll try to say things and interfere. She spends a lot of time worrying, and I don't remember if this was something that happened in the past, she spends a lot of time worrying that Zachary is in love with somebody else and is in a relationship with that person. And so he can't possibly care for her because she's just his wife of convenience. She's not actually someone that he cares about. And it's just kind of funny. I think that's what either did happen before or she thinks happened before. But in this current timeline, there's nobody else. And he actually finds himself really falling for her. But it seems like every time he tries to explain that or get rid of the confusion, they don't resolve things properly. I know that one day they will, because this is definitely setting up a great romance between the two. So if you're looking for one of those do-over stories with a big romance element and good artwork, and just, I don't know, I love stories too where they're like learning and sharing skills in order to like build the economy. I don't know why I enjoy that so much. I think as someone that crafts and stuff, I just enjoy that they're taking those little pieces and weaving them into the world. But I would say I recommend Marriage of Convenience. I'm very much enjoying this one. I'm assuming it's going to be about the length of the typical manhwa series, so 7 to 9 volumes, but I am not sure yet. Well, I should say closer to 9, right? Most are around 9 volumes. I'm not sure yet though, but I'm in for it. I'm going to keep reading the published works, even if it is available online. I'm really enjoying just getting these. Again, Eyes Press is doing a great job. They release a lot of great manhwa. They are part of Yen Press overall. They're doing a great job. I really like their line of manhwa, and I would recommend. And I think that is it for this video. It's been so long since I've talked about series that I'm reading and books in general. It feels like just trying to get caught up has been so much fairy loot, and I do have another fairy loot that I need to open as well, but I like getting the chance to talk about books and what I like about these. And this one, you know, I love a good do-over story, and I just like Bianca. I like Zachary. I think they're cute. I think they're going to have a great development plot line. So far, so good at 2 volumes, and I can't wait to get the 3rd one. That is it for this video. Until next time, bye.